everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. Today is the day that we kicked off a new launch of online exclusives. So if you're on my email list, then you got a email that had a easy way for you to search for them. And then I also wanted to tell you, if you just go to my shopping site and you type in online exclusive, it doesn't put them in quite the right order, like lots of them, but there may be some that you've missed. There's some that I have that I've only used once or twice. There may even be one or two that I've never used. So I'm going to try to, retiring list is coming out and we're going to start getting new stuff. So in the next few days, I'm going to hit all of the new online exclusives, and then I'm going to go back and try to get some stuff. One of the things that I'm using today is one of those ones I bought from the annual catalog, and I've not used much. I've used it a couple of times. I used it once recently, and I knew that because I haven't put the stamps back in it. But let's take a real quick look at the magnolias and the softly stippled, whatever that background is. Those are part of the online exclusives. This ribbon is, and the embellishments are from the Latte Love, which I'm doing an online class for, and I'm using those again today. This is the Simply Zinnias, and I listened to the Stampin' Up video, and they say zinnia. I think that's like a pecan kind of thing. Here in the Midwest, at least where I am, we call them zinnias. So I don't know if it's a zinnia or a zinnia where you are, but it's lovely, and it is our March focus for Card Club. So if you're interested in being in my online card club, you can go watch that video. And then the one I did yesterday is from the Latte Love, and I do have an online class for that as well. If you purchase the suite from me, the class is very inexpensive. And if you're in Card Club, you get an additional discount on top of that. So these are the two that I made yesterday. And then I was going to use the Pets and More today. And I haven't done this in a long time, where I just take the supplies that were laying right there and use them again. But because this doesn't have paper, it's kind of a clean slate, doesn't have dies. It's just a standalone sweet little stamp set. So I thought, well, let's see what happens if we use the latte things with the Pets and More. So that's how I came up with today's color combination. I didn't end up using the paper. There was a piece that I was going to use, but I liked making my own background with the paw prints. But I did use, when I meant to look, it's the ribbon folder. I've used that. We're going to use the ribbon. We're going to use the embellishments, and then we're going to use the same color combination. So I'm going to use the Pets and More. And then this is the set that I have out of the annual catalog. And I used the Hip Hip and the Hooray, and I just stuck them back in there. I don't know that I've ever stamped with any of the others, but today we are. What we're going to do, I'm just so happy for you. And the Pets and More, now I can't remember what they call the flippy stamps, and it doesn't say on here. So it's designed that you can stamp on with this image and then flip it over on your block and get the color. So you can see here I did it in pecan pie. These were all just the first time every time I get a stamp set, I kind of play with it just a little bit. Here I stamped them in black and then flipped it over. This is in pecan, and then this one is in the petal pink. Here I was going to do the copper, but my phone started going off and I never got back to it, and then I washed it off before I realized I hadn't done it. So that's how they're designed to work, but you don't have to use them that way. And I wanted my card to have a bit more color than this was going to do, just because it's a neutral colored card. So I'm going to color mine, and I'll show you how you can do that with it as well. So let's start. Here's my color palette. We have some vanilla cardstock, and that's all I'm going to use. So let's do our little guys first. So like I said, I am going to do them in black and then color them in. There's no dies. This would be a super sweet set, though, if you have kids that stamp with you all the way through teenagers, because who doesn't love a sweet little animal? I'm using the cat and the dog, but there's also a bird, a gerbil, and a fox, I think. The fox kind of throws me because it's not really a pet, but I think it's a fox. It doesn't looks like a fox to me. Maybe some of y'all have a fox for a pet. So here is our dog. And the fun thing about them is you can color them to be more realistic colors like I'm going to do today. You can do them in bright colors. You can use them just for kids cards. You could use them for somebody that gets a new pet, or a sympathy card for a pet. This one's just, I'm so happy for you. So there's lots of ways that you can use it. So we have this stamped. Now let's get our words. So this is the one I've pulled out from the I'm Just So Happy For You. I liked it because it was big and bold. So let's start with our lightest color. These are the colors that I pulled from my coffee card. So let's start with the Petal Pink. It's kind of a neutral palette too, and there's nothing on it that makes it be overtly, you would have to give it to a girl. The Petal Pink is more of a peach tone, and I went for kind of the orange tabby cat color. I thought these looked kind of tabby-ish. And then I have Pecan Pie, so I'm just going to pop it on here. And then let's get Copper Clay. So we're doing gradually to darker. And that should be good. And then you do want to blow some hot air on it in case it has dried from that first Petal Pink. And then I'm going to cut this out with a die, and I'll show you which one. It's I didn't look at the name of it either. The girl who cleans for me was here today, and we're also friends, and so when she leaves, we talk for a very long time. So we talked for a very long time today, and I was ready to film, and then I forgot the things I was going to do. This is from the annual catalog too. It's the hexagon one, so I'm going to put that on there. Then there are some little accent pieces. There's a fish and a ball and a paw print. There we go. And a little bowl. I thought the bowl and the paw were kind of cat or dog. So I'm going to put a little bowl there. And then let's grab, this is a color I didn't use yesterday, but we're adding it in. This is a quarter sheet of cardstock, so it is 4.25 by 5.5. And I'm going to use Smoky Slate. And we're just going to kind of create our own designer series paper here. Now you have to remember that this is going on over the middle of it, the card. So you want to make sure that the places that you stamp, because if you put a whole bunch there, it could look like you have plenty, but then when you lay this on, it's going to all get covered up. So I'm going to do them a little bit wider than I did on my other one, just to get a couple more paw prints on it. And I'm just doing full strength ink every time, so I am re-inking my stamp before I stamp. So if I put this here, we'll be able to see a bunch of them. And then let's have our pep prints going up off the top of our card. This one has a few more than my other one did, because when I was done, I was like, ah, those are cute and you can't see them as much. So we have that. So I am going to put this through my machine, and I will put this down under the video which set this came from. There's graduated ones, and they're all the same size. It's what I made my swaps last year when we went to Norway. But I've slept a long time, and we're almost ready for another trip, so I don't remember what it is. And then I'm going to put, can't find the folder, here it is. This is the folder I used on the coffee card. I'm going to put this whole thing in here and make my background. So those are the two things that are going to go through my machine. And then these, like I said, they're just a standalone, so there's no dyes. So let's color them in with blends. And I'm not going to tell you what colors I'm using, because except for the blue for their eyes, anything else that is from Pumpkin Pie, Petal Pink, any of the neutrals in our neutral set, Pecan Pie, Smoky Slate, Gray Granite, any of those colors will work for this. So use what you have, and don't think that if you don't have it, you can't make the card, because you can. So I will start with Petal Pink, and I'm just going to do the inside of her little ears and her little nose. The dog's nose is already black. And then just start with light colors. So let's do, maybe I will tell you just out of habit, this is Pebbled Path, and I think it's the dark one. So let's do her little tail. Her little tail looks like we have a black cat, but she has a raccoon black and white tail. She doesn't have stripes on her. This cat doesn't particularly look like any of our cats. Then we have one that looks like she's, the vet thinks, part Maine Coon. And then we have a white and orange, and she would be the most if I had started out with a white card. And then let's go granite. This is the dark granite. This is my very favorite Stampin' Up! Color, which tells you the color families that I live in when gray granite is my favorite color, right? And nobody ever believes me. I think they think I'm joking. but it's a great neutral. So the nice thing when you're coloring fur is you can kind of just go for it. And then let's get, this is like pumpkin pie. And this is just to kind of add some of the tabby to it. And this is gonna look totally different than my other one, but that's okay. Get some little tiger stripes in there. And then we will go to our light granite and just kind of blend it all together. And the granite, because it's gray and brown, is perfect for pet cards. And this will just smear all of the little lines so they kind of blend together. And I'm not going to color it all. I want a little bit of white. So because this set is designed so the other piece gives you the outlines, you can see that there's parts missing. That's okay. We're just going to color and make the fur kind of go out. And now the little fur is just sticking up as fur does, and you don't have to worry about the fact that there's no outline. Go back over where I have some light granite and just do another coat over parts of it so it can kind of shade itself. We keep our kitten kind of gray. There's our kitten. And now I want a mostly brown dog, but I'm going to pull back in my pebbled path and I'm going to pull back in my dark gray granite. So we'll start with the pebbled path, and I'm just going to put some brushes of color kind of where her little spots are. Again, this would be so easy for kids to color because there's no right or wrong. This is bronze. I didn't even look at the colors when I pulled them out. I just reached over to my stand and I wanted mixes of the colors. So it's not even like on all of them. I have the darks and the lights. So there's our bronze. And then this is the 200. You could use espresso or something if you don't have all of the neutrals. Some of the neutrals are more skin tone, flesh toned. You probably don't want a dog that looks like it has bald skin color. And then this is dark pecan. You can see I didn't use the light, but you could if that's the browns that you mostly have. And then let's go with our dark gray granite as our blender. There's not a whole lot of just vanilla cardstock left showing. I like her little feet to kind of have those white spots, so I'm not going to even color those on. But because I didn't leave a whole lot of area, there's not going to be a ton of her that's gray. But it is a little bit lighter for her face and stuff. I don't know why I assume she's a girl. Did I say that for the cat too? And then she has this little tag here. I will tell you, I thought about doing it red, or if I was doing this for a particular child and I knew their favorite color, I might do that in the color. But I was just going for the coffee card, coffee colors. So I just did this in petal pink as well. So I'm gonna just use my snips and trim these out, and I'm gonna do the die cutting with the other stuff. Okay, so we have those ready. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to put this on my card, but you do need to make sure that these guys are going to fit before you stick that down. So they're just going to go like this, and then this needs to go a little high up because remember, this doesn't have any border around it. This is a false front, so it's the full size. So that will work. I'll just have this in here. Towards the top, so we have our little puppy will fit, and then before I go on, I'll make sure again that it fits where I stuck it. Perfect. Then I'm going to take the ribbon, and again, this is part of the coffee suite. It has some texture to it, so I'm not going to tie a bow on it. I'm going to put a little strip up right here. Hold this down. Flip this over. I'll add some here, make sure it's still straight after I did that. And there we go. You can see it. It kind of it's one of those ribbons that has a life of its own. You know what I mean? When it kind of just goes where it's going to go no matter what you just did to it. So I thought this was an easy way to add it. Now we'll go ahead and stick that onto, got a little bit of dirt on the back of this because you know it's vanilla and it's sitting on my dirty desk. See this right here? Always put that where you're going to put down underneath. Nobody will even know it's dirty there. So we have this, and then that will keep our ribbon from popping off. Just line it all up, and then before I press down, I'm going to make sure it's lined up well. That's good. When you do tone on tone with a false front, then it is a little bit more forgiving if you don't get it on straight. So we have this. Now I'm going to take, I took my ribbon and I just cut about that much, and then when you get this ribbon, you'll see that it has like definite stripes in it. I took a piece and I cut it in half. So this is half of that. The other half's on my card I've already made. So I'm just gonna stick this under here. And I think it's easier. I did not do it first on my other card. I did this and then mounted it. But this is gonna give it a little bit more stability. I did it that way because I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. Just put this on here. But when I did it before and this wasn't taped on there, then it just popped off. Oh, look, I have ink on my hands. I'm gonna turn this off. But you see that fingerprint? We're just gonna cover it up. We have cats, we have embellishments. We can cover that up. Don't ever throw out your card because you got a smudgy on it. I could even put another paw print there if I wanted to. Or I could cut out the ball if it was a big smudge. I'm gonna put my dog on first because she has to go to the edge of the card, and then that will make sure that I don't have my cat in the wrong spot. And just pop these up. So she goes right here in the corner. And there's half my smudges covered up. So now I'm gonna use the adhesive back swirl dots. Like I said, these are from the coffee. They're the same ones I used yesterday. But I'm gonna start with that one, and we will just pop a embellishment right on my little smudgy that was where my hand was dirty. I don't even know where that came from. I don't see anything dirty on here. I must have, oh, I brushed on that, I bet, when I was cutting this stuff out. So I'm going to use 5 of these, and then if you notice right here, I caught the edge of that. We'll just cover that up. Embellishments are to fix mistakes as much as they are to make your card pretty. So there's 3. On a card like this, I think it really needs 5. Otherwise, they kind of get lost. And I'm not going to do the vanilla one again because the other ones have a little bit more stronger color. They'll be a little bit more noticeable. So there we go. How cute is that? Isn't that cute? And I think that if you, I know like teacher gifts at the end of the year, if you give a teacher a stamp set, some cardstock, and just a couple of stamp pads, for these that would, any color could work because you can do the front and the back. They don't have to have the black. But it would make a fun teacher gift that she could use in her classroom the following year. It would be super fun if your kids do, your grandkids, your neighbor kids, your nieces, your nephews, if they like to stamp with you, this would be a great set to have on hand. So when you come over and they want to stamp with you, they can pull out this set because it's just a happy little set. So that's what I have for you today. I will keep going through the rest of, I have more online exclusives coming too because I hadn't ordered them all. And I think that some of what I'm going to use for April Club is coming. So I'm going to try to get through all these, and then we'll see how much time I have left before I leave for Houston, if I can get anything else done. So have a great one, and I'll catch you back here later. Bye.